Bands and they coming in, they gonna love my diamonds dance. I'm with my twin, I'm trying to get some help, but don't know how. I gotta go. I'm on my own, I'm pouring foes, I gotta go. I'm at this though, I get a Sprite, I'm about to crack this seal, I'll post some more.
My God, that looks so good. So I didn't like the way the Mark 6 looked on stock body. I've always been a stock body guy, but for some reason the body lines on this just, they weren't doing it for me. As you can see on this side, it's just boring. So I actually got these side skirts from Turkey on eBay about 5 months ago, and I've been putting off on putting them on because of the winter time. But now with the spring hitting, I think it's time. Even though we have to tuck this behind the fender liner, which I'm gonna be taking out, back here doesn't line up the best, which means we're probably gonna have to sag this a little bit lower than you would think. It wouldn't follow the body line right here. A few other people I follow on Instagram actually that have these same side skirts, or at least it looks like they have same side skirts, and I've talked to them, they all sag it about a ½ inch lower on the sill right here. We're gonna find out about the fitment a little bit better, but the thing that stinks about this whole sagging it a little lower is I bought these side skirts initially because I got into a curve right about here, and it's not the best, but if we have to sag it a little lower, there will be a visible hole for what we're even trying to cover. But when I hit the curve, it pulled it down about a ½ inch, so it might just be perfect. I guess there's only one way to find out here, and everyone usually tends to 3M these things on, have it all adhesive held, but I really want to make brackets that'll mount right up to where the fender liner bolt would normally go. So you can remove this and then have these not self-tapered on, but have them zip tied on, literally just like a drift car. I don't care if they are a little bit loose. That's the way I like to run them on stance cars. If you hit something, you want it to rip off. You don't want it to rip everything to pieces, break your side skirts. Rip the side skirt off, go get it later on the side of the road. That's just my theory on it, you know? So definitely first for starters, we're gonna have to go ahead and take these wheels off, and you can get into there and see where these bolts that I want to attach this to. I'm not gonna have to take out the back wheels fender liner, which is awesome. And I really don't have to take the front wheels fender liner off. So just for today to mount these up, I'm gonna tuck it behind and then just screw that back in. But eventually when the summer hits and you want your fitment to get a little bit better, ride a little bit lower, then I could take it out. But we don't have to take any of the fender liners out today, which is awesome. I can access that bolt and I can access that bolt as well without removing anything besides just the wheels and making the brackets.
Bitch, I feel like zombie when the Henny hit, I need a break. 2 hoes on my phone one time, when they pull up, they make it shake. 2 sips, I'm wide awake, my wrist gon' drip out like.
Got my wheels off, got a block underneath control arm there. Got a chalk block on the other side to keep the car from rolling down the hill. And then got some of these bad boys on the subframe. Should be sufficient enough. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and start removing the bolts that hold on the fender liner from the bottom, just so I can access the bolts in here to get a bracket built off. It's gonna be really cool to just have one bolt, maybe tie in these 2 bolts, come out, have a bracket that's just able to zip tie right to the side skirt. So if I'm ever in a pinch, I just 1, 2, and then 1 in the front, and then this whole entire system just comes right up the side. All right, so in order to build the side bracket that holds on the back piece of the side skirt itself, I'm just gonna build it out of aluminum. It won't rust, I don't need to paint it, it'll bend easily, it's easy to work with. Aluminum's great. So I'm gonna have it attached to 1 bolt, come kink up, come kink down, be flat, and I'll be able to zip tie it any form I want. That'll be able to make it nice and tight and fitting to the body. Aluminum overall is just really nice to work with. Before I go ahead and cut this aluminum, I did decide that I wanted to tie these 2 bolts together to keep this as stable as possible. So I got the edge there. I'll mark that out as being, you know, the very last line. And then I'm gonna have this come up, I'm gonna cut that and have it come down like that. Just a basic line, but we're gonna make an L bracket for each side. Because once these 2 tie together, we don't have to worry about strength, up and downs or sideways. They're just tied into the same exact anchor points. And then as far as it coming up, we'll be able to make the bracket up here and have it kink out if we need to, but most likely I will just make it a simple L bracket that the zip tie will be able to make up that difference between in here and out here, and it'll hold the pressure to keep everything in line. On stuff like this, you can overthink it or you can make it simple, and I just choose to make it simple. I know how to make it super in-depth and serious, but it's a plastic side skirt with something metal holding it. The plastic's gonna break before the metal, so I'm just gonna cut the aluminum and I'm gonna hold up. Coffee break. On this day, I realized or remembered how hard aluminum is to cut. It's like cutting hot butter. It takes 3 times longer than steel. For some reason, it just wants to gum up the blade. But now that we got this awesome bracket made up, come over here drill holes, mount that up, and we can have any zip tie mounts. We could drill holes. We can have self-tappers land in this thing. It's all about making stuff yourself, honestly. You can make anything work if you just put your mind to it. It's simple enough.
Bitch, I feel like something. When I walk in, they said I look dead. Sit on the dirty in my head. Blues, not a whole lot of red. Something crazy, it's like off grid.
Oh. Yo, no way. Eyeball of the century. And I don't even have to bend this back just yet because for mock-up purposes, I could just stick a zip tie on the back side of this without drilling a hole. And if I really wanted to get crazy with it and I did a bend, I could put a nutsert in there so I could just replace this all the time. But like I said, zip ties is literally my favorite thing to do. So I'm stoked with how it currently is. This bracket looks freaking awesome. So freaking awesome. Because not only is this going to make my life 10 times easier when it comes to the side skirts, mounting and dismounting, no matter what I'm doing, I know that I retained the bolt holes for the fender liner. The mount is made out of aluminum. This is coming together so well. So I guess now we'll test fit the side skirts. Oh, that's so right over the backside. But the fitment is actually really good on this. The one dude on Instagram that I was talking to, I'll pop him up on the screen right here.
Love a nigga out in Stockton. They let my shorty in the party with a Glock 10 poppin'. Yeah, bitch, I'm so poppin'.
His sit like down here and it gives him like a whole nother ½ inch. And like you could see this extra body line right here. I don't know, that is like so sick. And it fits for the corner a little better. And the brackets right there on the backside, I'll be able to get maybe 2-3 zip ties just for security. Oh, dude, this is sick. Okay, I've actually come to realize why he lets the side skirts sit down so low. I couldn't tell from Instagram, but there's actually a body line here that it follows perfectly. And on the contour, if you follow that body perfectly and you sit it right there, which is where I magically just like, I had it, I guess. When it comes down here, it sits a little bit lower and it gives you that extra body extension and body line. And you can hang that end down a little bit lower and it gets you so much lower. Now, I'm all for the static and slamming the car. As you can see in the background, the Mark V is literally on its nuts. We have crazy fitment on that car, but this is the daily, right? But I have everything taken out of the suspension, so I don't even have purchase in the rear. I have no room in the front. I could go down, I guess, another spring seat, but the car is maxed out on these BCBR series coilovers. So since I'm so low, I can't get any more body low without basically taking the race car effect out of this car. I have good tires. I just bought our 888s. I have the Recaro Hans full containment Kevlar bucket seats in this car. So gaining another inch of low by the body kit is just insane. And honestly, the other thing that's insane is the fact that how much I'm loving making these YouTube videos. Like I literally woke up this morning and I was stressing, right? And I was like, I don't know how to make this YouTube video. But then I just jumped into it today and I'm like, dude, this is the most fun I've had in years. Like I used to stress about making YouTube videos and now I'm just like, be you, get on camera and share what you got going on. And I thank all of you guys for watching the channel. It's literally been crazy. So let's get back into the video. As far as this mount goes, I'm really looking at it here. And since this wants to tuck out flat, I think I'm gonna remake this bracket and have it come down here as well and L out, so that when I bring this in, not only am I holding it from the top, but that I'm holding it in a space that I want it to be from the bottom, so it can hold that body line without doing this. Because we are gonna mount it with zip ties, but we want it to be sturdy. So I'm going to make another bracket identical to this, but it's gonna be a T instead of an L. Because we only taking W's around here, you know? We're not trying to take L's. No L's allowed. Yes, it looks so good. All I gotta do is put a little spacer there and I can have it mounted up exactly how I want it, where I want it, when I want it. Tuck with a body like that. Oh my God, that looks so good. So all I had to do is literally cut out the exact same shape, add a little T-arm to it, 90, 90, straight down. Still runs with the rain gutter, but man, hole there, these zip ties are gonna be awesome. So it actually turns out, since I want to run that body line a little bit lower, the mounting hole is flush with the top of the side skirt itself. So I'm going to build another metal bracket that's just going to come down. It's going to be a simple straight line, and I'll be able to have one anchor point and then have the 2 zip ties run through the piece of metal, just like the same concept as the rear. I love aluminum. It's so easy to work with. Cut this little line, fluted it out, Gonna mount that right there, put the screw back in place, and then just, you can see how it's gonna go in from the back side, and it's gonna attach so nice and tight. I don't like that I can't get this up there, so I might notch this out right here, just so I can fit that exactly where I want it to go, because down here's a little bit too low and up here's a little bit too high. So if I just notch the corner off, I could still get the bracket to tighten all these down. Ow. That did not feel good. So I got a hole drilled in the side skirt itself, a hole drilled in the mount, and another hole drilled in the bottom mount. And once I line this one up, I'll figure out where I want to drill a hole here. These are almost just for mock-up. I would like to put a piece of metal behind here for stability, but like I said, I'm trying to make this easy, not too overly engineered. So let's feed this through. All right, so we got this zip tie on. It's sagging a little bit, so I'm gonna add the zip tie to the bottom. The hole's down here, the mount's up here, and I'll put this spacer right here. So once I tighten this zip tie down, it's gonna center it out and pick this up to about right there, which would just be crisp on the body line. I'm not even gonna lie right now, I got the scooter in the back. I stopped filming because I'm going to play pickleball and then maybe hit the skate park right after. I'm a busy man.
Bands and they coming in, they gonna love my diamonds dance. I'm with my twin, I'm trying to get some help, but don't know how. I gotta go. I'm on my own, I'm pouring foes. I gotta go. I'm at this though. I get a Sprite, I'm about to crack this seal. I'll post some more.
All right, so this side is on. I see. But all good things have to come to an end, and revision day came. The dual bolt is the way to go. The single bolt at the bottom allows it to swing. We don't want that. Yeah, that's not good. We want that stability, so we got 2 bolts now instead of just 1. I changed up the passenger side bracket just a little bit. I really like the way it looks compared to the other side because the top of the bracket actually extends out as well with another right angle. But the other side's strong enough for now. If anything goes wrong, I'll address it. It's nice and extended out. It's gonna keep everything even, and when this is tight, it's literally flush with the body line. So it'll apply a nice even pressure on this backside opposed to it reaching in and just being pulled by zip ties. Now it'll be nice and flush with pressure on it. Shit, what you know about it? Wow. This view right here is why I do it. Look at this. This was my daily 4 years ago that I didn't care about, never washed, never took care of. And it's just the simple things, right? Like the exhaust tip mixed in with the stock bill and then these side skirts and the front splitter. It's just incredible. I made the mounts. They zip tied on. And I didn't even use 3M tape. This is incredible. The wide angle, oh my, this is why I do it. This is so bad, but that's why we're replacing this with this. The double bolt mount, such an upgrade. I know, it's crazy what a little bit of spray paint, some zip ties, some plastic will do for a car.
I'm with my twin, I'm trying to get some help, but don't know how. I gotta go. I'm on my own, I'm pouring foes. I gotta go. I'm at this though. I get a Sprite, I'm about to crack this seal. I'll post some more. Won't overdose, I'm going ghost like MIA. I'm on my own, won't put it on my soul. It's not nothing I can't control. Been when I've been on, know what I've been through. I was bumming with them dirty shoes. Thinking guy, he always coming through. Now I'm hopping on a couple moves, different moves. hoes like what you choose. I'm finna get some Jimmy Choo's. Pick and choose the pinks or blues. Like what you wanna do. Hop up in the coupe.
Hey, look at my fitment. Wait. Do you like the new side skirt?
See me stop, watch me get this guap. Now I'm heading to the top. Bands and they coming in, they gonna love my diamonds dance. I'm with my twin, I'm trying to get some help, but don't know how. I gotta go. I'm on my own, I'm pouring foes. I gotta go. I'm at the store, I get a Sprite. I'm about to crack this seal, I'll post some more. Promise I won't overdose. I'm in my A, I'm going ghost. I'm thanking God he helped the most. I really don't wanna break the code.
Well guys, just like that, the side skirts are on. We are at the best spot to debut the setup at, and this thing is driving around looking awesome and looking mean. I hope you guys enjoyed those like little clips. I just drove, I don't know, 20 minutes out into the country to debut this on this dirt road in the Crocs, but I'm stoked. If you guys are thinking about, you know, doing side skirts yourself, I highly suggest it. Stay updated to see if the side skirts fall off or not, because they are zip tied on and it is not 3M'd on, you know, we got no glue. But I think this is the best option that I can go with for this whole setup. But just like that, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you throw the video a like, subscribe, and we're gonna take this channel to 1 million plus. I love you guys. Peace.